Scorpio, listen to me very carefully for a moment, because what I'm about to say is not drama, not click, not noise. There is a shocking wealth blessing moving toward you this December, and the instruction attached to it is simple and sacred. Keep it quiet. Not a performance, not a public announcement, not a prove-it-to-anyone moment. This is not money for show. This is money for destiny. If your spirit has been feeling strangely calm in the middle of uncertainty, if you've been sensing that something is loading in the background of your life with no visible reason, that's not fantasy. That's your energy field rearranging itself to receive what your mind hasn't fully caught up with yet. You didn't press on this video by accident. Your soul recognized the vibration in the title before your eyes even finished reading it. You were drawn here because somewhere deep inside you, you already know. Your season of scraping by and justifying your worth is ending, and a new chapter of quiet provision is beginning. For a long time, Scorpio, it felt like life kept sending invoices and never paying you back. You gave loyalty and received betrayal. You worked harder than most and still watched other people get chosen. You carried burdens that were never spoken out loud, said, "I'm fine," when you were breaking, kept the peace while your own spirit was at war. The universe was never indifferent to that. It was collecting evidence, not to punish you but to balance the scales. Every time you chose integrity when bitterness would have been easier, every time you cried and still chose to get up the next day, every time you stayed kind when it would have felt good to be cruel, those moments didn't vanish into the dark. They were logged into what I like to call your spiritual account. And now, this December, something in that account is maturing. Not as a random windfall, not as a lottery ticket, but as a karmic settlement, a shocking wealth blessing that carries the energy of finally. When I tune into your field, it doesn't feel like noisy luck. It feels like a quiet verdict, a spiritual judge stamping something. Approved, released, it's time. The money that's coming is not just numbers, it's energy returning to its rightful owner. Think of it like this. Every time your ideas were stolen, every time you were underpaid, every time you were used and discarded, every time someone benefited from your light without honoring your presence, those moments created an energetic imbalance. You didn't need to sue anyone in human court. Your soul filed a case with something higher. Now the case is being closed in your favor. That's why you might already feel a strange combination of peace and pressure, like the air before a storm, like your chest knows something is about to shift. Your spirit can sense deposits before your bank account ever reflects them. But here is where the warning comes in, and this is crucial. Not everyone is allowed inside this blessing. And I'm not just talking about who gets the money, I'm talking about who gets to know. Some blessings are public, loud, meant to be shared as testimony. This is not that kind of blessing. This one comes with a cloak. This December, heaven isn't asking you to praise out loud. It's asking you to protect in silence. Keeping quiet about what is coming to you is not selfish. It's spiritual security. When you expose a sacred seed too early, you invite trampling feet, curious hands, and jealous eyes. When you start explaining what hasn't fully rooted yet, you open your field to doubts, projections, subtle curses disguised as concern. You, of all signs, should understand this, Scorpio. You are the guardian of secrets, the keeper of hidden depths. Not everyone deserves front-row seats to your transformation. You already know what it feels like to share good news with the wrong person and watch it wither. You've seen ideas die the moment someone scoffed. You've watched your own energy collapse after you overshared with someone who secretly resented you. That wasn't bad luck, that was spiritual physics. When energy is delicate and in the process of forming, it needs a protected atmosphere. This December, your shocking wealth blessing is in that fragile, holy stage. It is like a golden embryo, real, alive, growing, but not ready to be placed under harsh lights and loud rooms. That's why the universe is whispering to you, keep it quiet. Let it grow. Let it land. Silence is not a lack of gratitude. Silence is a form of reverence. The less you explain, the more power you allow this blessing to carry. You might even notice the test starting early. As soon as things start to line up, maybe a debt is forgiven, a surprising opportunity appears, a client pays more than expected, an application is accepted, a door opens. You'll feel that old impulse. I want to tell someone, I want someone to be proud of me. I want someone to finally see me winning. That desire is human, but this time you are being invited into something higher. This time the universe isn't saying, show them. It's saying, show me. Can you sit with your own joy without needing an audience? Can you receive in silence and let your life speak instead of your mouth? That's part of the initiation, trusting that your success is real, even if nobody claps for it yet. Underneath all of this money talk is something much deeper. Your nervous system is being rewired to feel safe with abundance. In the past, having more might have felt dangerous. Maybe you were taught that rich people are selfish. Maybe every time things started going well, something chaotic happened, and your body learned to associate good fortune with sudden loss. Maybe you experienced people using you when they sensed you had something to give. So even when you prayed for more, some part of you was scared of what more might attract. This December, the shocking wealth blessing isn't only about what lands in your account, it's about how grounded you feel when it does. The universe is preparing you to hold what you once could only chase. You may notice yourself breathing more deeply, sleeping more peacefully, worrying less even when circumstances still look incomplete. That inner ease is not laziness, it's alignment. Wealth sticks to souls that feel safe, not desperate. And as always, when the light gets brighter, old shadows get noisy. There will be people who suddenly reappear out of nowhere. A message from someone you haven't heard from in years. A family member who previously dismissed you, now curious about your life. An old friend who just wants to reconnect. There will be subtle tests. Someone asking for a favor that pulls you back into savior mode. Someone hinting about their financial problems. Someone pressuring you to share resources you haven't even fully received yet. Listen closely here, Scorpio. Love does not mean funding everyone's chaos. Compassion does not mean sacrificing your destiny. This blessing is not arriving so that you can become the emergency bank for people who refuse to grow. It is coming to anchor you into stability, purpose, and long-term impact. That means boundaries, real ones. Not the kind you apologize for, not the kind you explain until your throat is dry. You're allowed to say, I'm focusing on something right now, without explaining that something. You are allowed to protect your plans while they are still forming. You are allowed to direct your money toward your healing, your education, your home, your work, your future, without feeling guilty for not rescuing everyone else. Money that comes from heaven is not meant to fill every hole in other people's lives. It is meant to fill the assignment in yours. You are not a walking wallet, you are a builder, a strategist, an architect of a new timeline. So what might this blessing actually look like? For some of you, it might be a job offer that pays more than anything you've earned so far. For others, it might be a client, a contract, a settlement, a sale, a long overdue payment, or an opportunity that multiplies your income over time. For others, it may come more quietly, a debt cancelled, support arriving at the exact right time, a resource shared with you that saves you thousands in the future. For some, the biggest wealth blessing might be a chance to move, to change environments, to finally step out of a place that has been draining your spirit for years. Whatever form it takes, it carries the same spiritual code. I am not forgotten. I am not last. I am finally stepping into a season where I can breathe. You don't have to make this happen through frantic action. Yes, show up. Yes, do your work. Yes, answer emails. Send applications, create, build, offer, but drop the panic. December isn't asking you to grind yourself into dust. It's asking you to move like someone who knows they're already chosen. There is a difference between chasing opportunity and walking in alignment. One feels like begging at a locked door. The other feels like recognizing the door that already has your name on it. This season, your job is not to break into rooms that don't want you. Your job is to recognize the rooms that were always meant for you, and then enter them quietly, confidently, and without the need to broadcast your every step. Practical magic will help you anchor this. At the beginning or end of your day, light a simple candle, white, gold, or deep purple if you have it. Take 3 slow breaths. Place your hand on your heart and whisper, "I welcome quiet, clean abundance into my life. I am ready to receive what is aligned, and I am strong enough to protect it." Imagine a soft golden light wrapping around your body, especially around your chest and your hands. See that light as a shield, not a wall of fear, but a filter of wisdom. You don't need to see every detail of how the blessing will arrive. You just need to feel safe enough to receive it without forcing, clinging, or explaining. You can also begin to create a physical symbol of stewardship. If you're able, open a separate account, envelope, or digital bucket and give it a name that carries intention: foundation, sacred wealth, future home, healing fund. It doesn't matter if the first amount you put into it is small. You are telling the universe, "I don't just want money, I'm ready to direct it." That simple act shifts you from passive hoping into quiet leadership. You stop identifying as someone waiting to be rescued and begin embodying someone who is building something real. The shocking wealth blessing that's approaching will recognize that energy. Money loves purpose. Of course, I need to weave something tender and honest here, Scorpio, because part of honoring you is being clear. This message is a spiritual story, a mirror for your intuition, not a contract or a guarantee. Think of everything I'm sharing as a sacred possibility, a symbolic map, a meditation in the form of words. If what you're hearing lights up your inner knowing and brings you peace, keep those parts close and let them strengthen your faith. If some pieces don't resonate with your reality, let them float past you like clouds in a December sky. This is not financial advice, not a promise of specific outcomes. It is an invitation to meet your own energy in a deeper way, to align with a frequency of abundance, dignity, and self-respect that was always meant to be yours, with or without any number in your bank account. Now, as this month unfolds, pay attention to the tiny confirmations. A conversation about money that feels different, healthier, less charged. A moment where you say no with ease when you would have said yes just to please. A day when you feel strangely safe, even though nothing massive has happened yet. These are not minor. These are proof that the old version of you, the one who apologized for existing, who overshared to feel seen, who lowered your standards to stay included, is fading. You are stepping into a quieter, richer self, a version of you whose presence feels like a full room, even when you walk in alone. This blessing is not coming to turn you into someone else. It's coming to reveal more of who you really are. You were always meant to handle resources with depth, with care, with vision. You were always meant to lead from the shadows and influence from the soul, not from ego. What's arriving this December is simply catching up with the work your spirit has already done. You've excavated trauma. You've survived loss. You've rebuilt yourself more times than anyone knows. This isn't luck, this is harvest. And as it lands, your mantra is simple. I keep it sacred. I keep it quiet. I keep it aligned. So, Scorpio, as we close this message, take one more deep breath. Feel your feet on the ground, feel the weight of your own body, the proof that you are still here, that you made it through battles that would have broken a lesser soul. You don't have to ask, am I worthy of this anymore? Worthiness was never your problem. Access was, timing was, alignment was. Those are the things shifting now. You're crossing a threshold where your effort, your integrity, and your faith finally begin to speak the same language as your reality. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how your life starts to improve. You don't have to defend your glow. You don't have to justify why, after so many years in the dark, the light is finally choosing you. If your heart is quietly saying, "This is for me," let it be your own secret agreement with the universe. You can anchor it softly by affirming, out loud or in the comments if you feel called, "I keep it quiet. I receive what is mine." Not to impress anyone, but to signal your readiness. Remember, the most powerful shifts don't always roar. They arrive like a change in temperature, a different tone in your thoughts, a new softness in your spirit. That's how this shocking wealth blessing will feel when it begins to land. Not like chaos, but like exhale. Not like pressure, but like finally having room to breathe. This December, let the world assume nothing has changed if it wants to. You and the universe will know the truth, and that is more than enough.